Vin Diesel and crew are already shooting the upcoming xXx sequel, the third in the franchise, but only the second for Diesel, who was replaced by Ice Cube in the second film. xXx State of the Union. Vin recently took to his social media to announce two cast additions. First is Samuel L. Jackson, who returns for the third time to reprise his role as Augustus Gibbons, and newly crowned UFC featherweight champion Conor McGregor. John, what do you think of these additions to the new xXx movie?
I love me some Ice Cube. I love Ice Cube. It was one of the worst casting decisions in the history of motion pictures to make him the new xXx when he gets like, really? Ice Cube's the new xXx, huh? Anyway, moving past that, yeah, I was just fully expecting. I was actually kind of surprised when I saw Diesel say that, hey, Samuel L. Jackson's coming back. I just kind of assumed it. The addition of Conor McGregor, though, hopefully it's a small role because I have no idea if this guy can act. So small, little, maybe even a non-speaking role, kind of like George St. Pierre in Captain America Winter Soldier or something like that. That would be fine. Let me bring up the UFC fan in me for a second. This Conor McGregor dude is a bad man. This dude is a bad man. For those of you who don't follow UFC, he just fought for the featherweight title this past weekend against a guy who has not lost in 10 years, against the #1 ranked pound-for-pound combat fighter in the world in Jose Aldo, and he knocked him the fuck out in 13 seconds. 13 seconds. This is a bad... Anyway, so it's going to be a tiny little role. It is interesting seeing Vin Diesel, though, continue his trend of, let me go back to the franchises that were working for me. Because remember, he had about a 5-year stretch there where he tried a bunch of different films and none of them worked. And then he's like, maybe I will go back to Fast and Furious. Maybe I will go back to XXX. And I'm glad that he is. I'm looking forward to this. Sam Jackson, Conor McGregor additions. This is all good to me. What about you, Christian?
Yeah, it makes sense to me as well, too. And I think that it's exactly for the Fast and Furious reasons is why he's going back to it. And I also think it's when you look at somebody, he's a lot younger than Stallone and Vin Diesel, but he's a smart guy. I mean, Vin Diesel, Arnold Schwarzenegger, but he's a smart guy. And he pays attention to, well, wait a minute, people are going back to franchises that they love their stars in, and look what's been happening with me in Fast and Furious, so why not try it? Riddick didn't do gangbusters numbers, but it's certainly enough to where they want to do a TV series on it, so it makes sense for him to go back to it. And I don't know, all I know is I watched the fight, and the dude's a great fighter. It makes sense to put him in a smaller role, and maybe you don't need the best acting in the world, but if he's kicking ass in it, yeah, why not? So I like it.
What do you think?
I like Conor McGregor's attitude. Like, he almost reminds me of a wrestler. Like when he's smack talking, and he's like, he just has this attitude about him. So as long as they just take that natural attitude and be like, say all that stuff, but with these lines, and just make that, like, just bring your personality to whatever role that they cast him in a XXX 3. Right. And Sam Jackson was already in the first one, the very first one. So it makes sense that they got him back because he creates that tie, that glue that you need to. When Vin Diesel's like, we're forgetting about the second one, we're just kind of moving forward. I think it's great, and I like that Diesel does a bunch of these like really super popular, comebacks as far as like, and that allows him to keep doing these Riddick movies because I like those Riddick films.
Well, you know what it also does as well is because this franchise, the XXX, is not as well known as say Fast and Furious or even Riddick.
Right.
So it gives them a chance to kind of reinvent it as well, and then you are bringing in Sam Jackson, who is now Nick Fury. And that brings in a lot more too. So obviously, I think that's the reason, John, that the announcement came in to let everybody know that obviously, yeah, we know he's going to come back for it, but the announcement to it to maybe some fans out there, the younger generation that don't really know about XXX or him in XXX. Definitely. So the fact that they're doing it, it's a way to say, yeah, well, we got Nick Fury in this movie, and we got your new featherweight. Is it featherweight?
Featherweight.
New featherweight champion of the world. He's going to be in there as well too. It's a smart marketing play for a franchise that a lot of people may have forgotten about.
Hey guys, if you like this clip, click here to watch the entire episode. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel because it'll help you stay up to date with all the stuff we've got going on here at Collider.